This is Prime. I'm here on 24/7 Miami. Aloha.
This is 24/7 Miami.
My name's John Prime from Hawaii. We're just here to share, our culture, our history, where we're from with Miami. It's my first time on the East Coast, and one thing I really like about Miami is that it reminds me of home, but much bigger. And there's so many artists, so many beautiful people. The artwork that's going up is just far beyond anything I could have imagined, coming from a small island. So it's good, that representing that small island, we can talk about like what we do back home, and hopefully, some of Miami will take that and appreciate that. For example, Hawaii. When you think about Hawaii, you think about Waikiki, you think about the beaches, you think about paradise. But what Hawaii means to us is basically a mission statement. So from what I've learned from the folks back home that came before me, when you take the ha, or when you break the word Hawaii down, the ha is the breath of life. From your first breath to your last breath, you never truly own anything in between. Right? And then the Vai, the W-A-I or Wai, it represents water, right? It means water. So the water that's in our bodies, that makes up most of our bodies. Also the water that flows from the mountain to the ocean. Hawaiians believe that, it wasn't about sustainability, it was about prosperity. And so when you look at it that way, as long as you follow the water, the plants prosper, the fish prosper, then the people prosper, because you have your food, you have your food source, and then everybody prospers. There was no idea of money, everything was about the land, right? Then you have the E, the last I of Hawaii, and that represents our spirituality. It's what connects me and you to one another. When I meet you and I say hello, there's something about you that's very, very familiar, right? So when you put it all together, the ha, the vai, and the e, it basically says, from the time you're here on the earth, take care of your body, take care of what you feed other people, and most of all, take care of the land, because that land is going to take care of you back. So it's these things that people in Miami might not know about, or maybe they might, but that's our mission here, is to share our culture with Miami, and Heineken gave us that opportunity to come out and do this. So that's all we're here to do, is just to really show like where we're from, what we have to share with the world on a global scale, and at the same time take in a lot of information that people around us that I've never seen before want to share with us. So it's a give and take, and it's artists here from Miami. It was really good to meet the locals. Like back home, it's all about the locals. Meeting the locals, then you get to meet Hawaii. So like coming to Miami, I really want to meet the locals, because they represent Miami, and a lot of the locals that I've met so far just remind me of folks back home. So I really feel at home here, although I know that I'm just a visitor. But it's good to know that people still keep their culture here, and they speak their culture, and they hold true to their culture. That's something that I can take back home and tell the kids that I mentor that, hey, Miami's got a beautiful art scene, but what's more important to me are the local people that still keep it real. It's funny. It's a two-part question. Back in the 80s, when I first started doing, when I first started writing, there was guys from New York. Hawaii pretty much mimicked New York. So I grew up with guys like Doze, seeing Doze's stuff, Dondi, all of these New York legends. I also like Frank Frazetta, Boris Vallejo. All of these guys inspired me to do art. Stan Lee comic books, right? But now that I'm older, and now that I've been around the block a few times, who really inspires me is the kids that I work with. because of the way they look at things, their perspective on life, the way they view the realities of life. Like we tend to get caught up in our 9 to 5s, and we become whatever we choose to work, right? So these kids, they don't know that. They haven't been tainted yet. So it's that wonderment, when they come on and they see the world with bright open eyes. That's inspiration right there, because it keeps my imagination going and it keeps my inspiration going, and that's what I appreciate about them. So to answer your question, today it's the kids. Back then, a lot of New York inspired my writing. Folks that want to come out and learn more about our culture, I mean, even though we're painting, even though we're doing what we're supposed to do, that we're here, what's more important is taking the time out to actually interact with the folks that take the time to come out and Instagram our pictures and take pictures. But to me, it's more than just the artwork. It's about the process, right? So part of that process is the interaction. Like, I have this much to share with you. How much do you have to share with me? And let's connect.
This is 24/7 Miami. Visítanos en Facebook /247 Miami. Síguenos por el Twitter @247 Miami. www.247miami.tv